When the printing press was invented in early 1400s, it changed everything. Suddenly, everyone could read books, learn new things, spread ideas quickly. It sparked education, science, revolution, almost a human progress 2.0. But today we are at the cusp of a new revolution.
And that new revolution is happening right here, right now. It's changing life faster than what printing press ever did. It's called AI, artificial intelligence. You don't just read information anymore. It helps to write, create, summarize, analyze, even predicts just for you.
And the real headline is about two-thirds of people on Earth are using some form of AI tool on a regular basis. It may be for their homeworks, for recipe planning, for finding travel destinations, you name it. That's about 66% of the people worldwide.
Yeah, that's true. So imagine if you were sitting with two other family members of yours. That means out of three people you're sitting on a table, at least two people are using AI on a very regular basis.
And it's not just tech workers. AI tools like ChatGPT and Gemini have hundreds of millions of weekly users.
Wherever you turn today, ads, TV, social media, the stories about AI are everywhere. You can't really avoid it. So let's not fear it, let's understand it and how we can use it. And that's exactly why we are bringing this topic to you today on Pickle Insights. I'm your host, your friendly GP, Dr. Priyan Gupta, and with me always
Pratik Naik, I'm a tech guy.
And this is
Pickle Insights.
Before we dive any deeper, whether you are 5 years old, 50 years old, or 80-year-old, we are trying to keep this podcast today very simple, very safe, and for everybody to understand. So let's start with understanding AI. So Pratik, what is AI?
AI stands for artificial intelligence. In simple terms, think of it as a computer program that can think like humans, learn from examples, understand patterns, and answer questions. As humans, we learn from our experiences and our mistakes. By AI, it learns from the analysis of the data available to it.
So think of it like a very fast helper brain. It cannot feel and think like us, but it can crunch the data and give us the information and idea at much faster rate. So Pratik, can you tell our viewers some of the places where they are using AI and they may not even realize it?
So, for instance, social media apps like YouTube or Instagram recommending you videos, apps like Google Maps figuring out the fastest route to your destination, Uber figuring out how to connect you to drivers and deliver your food properly, your phone predicting the text as you're typing it, or Siri and Alexa responding to you when you ask them questions. These are some very common examples of us using AI without even realizing it.
Well, these are some really great examples. But look, I'm not a tech guy. I don't really understand if I'm watching YouTube, where is AI there?
The way these recommendation engine work is they look at the data like what videos you're watching, what kind of topics you're interested in, what your network of people around you are watching, and then they run this AI or machine learning model over it and come up with, okay, what are the other videos that you might be interested in? That's very simplistically how a recommendation engine works.
That's really analyzing our habits, isn't it? It's like we trying to figure out what your child is going to eat at the next hour.
Absolutely.
That's great, Pratik. So my next question is on Uber. It's been around for a while. So why are companies still investing into AI?
That's a very good question. So, ride sharing companies use AI for many things for optimizing routes and rides, predicting demand, fraud detection and safety, and improving customer experience. Now, we've talked about some everyday use cases, but are there any use cases of AI which can transform our civilization?
Absolutely, it's happening as we speak on an everyday basis. A very good example, which I probably would like to mention here, is Boston's Children's Hospital. They've established themselves as a leader in AI, and particularly in pediatric health. They have come up with researches where they are trying to narrow the gap which exists in two parts of the world, so Western world and rest of the world. They obviously have a lot of leverage and resources to improve the pediatric health. But now they've used AI to develop a system where a simple ECG with the use of some sensors can predict pediatric cardiac events. They also use in ICU systems, they can do early detection of sepsis, if I'm not wrong, about 8 hours prior to the actual incident happening.
That's quite fascinating. So, do we need doctors anymore?
Of course, you need doctors, you need me 100%. But yes, as we were saying, like in the early segment, that AI is a great helper which we can use to revolutionize the civilization. While it is a great helper, we must remember that it is not a replacement of professional medical advice. So while do people still look up things online, their symptom, it's quite important that you go and see the doctor to talk about the conditions you're dealing with. You must have heard of a recent news. A young US student, 18-year-old Mateo Paz, he actually discovered 1.5 million space objects which the traditional analysis had overlooked. How did he do it? By using AI.
That's really fascinating story. I'm really amazed by what Matteo was able to accomplish. But AI is not new. Some tech organizations have been using AI for a very long time. The reason why we are talking about these today is because companies like Google and OpenAI have made these tools accessible and put it into our very own hands.
That is so true. In fact, AI is one of that technology which doesn't care how old you are. It is that universal bridge for all ages. For kids, it's the tutor which never gets frustrated. For parents, it's the chief of staff. It can help you plan your meals, budget, even make your shopping list. And for seniors, they don't need to learn technology anymore. They can talk to the technology and use it to their advantage.
And they don't need to depend on their children either. In fact, it actually promotes independence and autonomy of our seniors.
Absolutely.
So, is it all hunky dory, roses and peaches? Is there anything that we need to be cautious about?
I like how you take Sherlock Holmes' approach on this. In fact, it's one of the most common questions which I often get asked. Is AI actually making us dumber? Are we having a cognitive decline in our capacity?
We are going to do a deep dive on this very topic in our next episode. So, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Pickle Insights.
And do let us know where you're watching us from. Did you like our video? Can we make it better? Please share any kind of feedback you may have. And please do tell us if you are using AI and how has it made your life better or worse. Till then, see you next time. I'm Priyank.
I'm Prateek,
And this is
Pickle
Pickle
Insights.
Insights.